But after that, everything started turning around. Not as fast as I wanted it to, but Paul had to keep reminding me, you didn't get cancer overnight. You're not going to get rid of it overnight. Just little things like, first, the cancer just stopped. You know, on the next test, it was stopped. Then the test after that.
And that's a good point, Joy, because I get so many people that after 4 months, 6 months, or whatever, 3 months, they go in and they're disappointed. Because the cancer hasn't spread, it stopped growing, and they're disappointed. Do you know, that's the major victory right there?
Yeah.
Well, if you stop the spreading of it, you now have an 80% chance of living. Well, why don't they tell the people this? And you know, when people come out, because we're led to believe like, this is a magic bullet, that's a magic bullet, this is... And the bottom line is that's the start. You have now pulled the snowball all the way up to the top of the hill, and it can no longer gather any moss.
Yeah,
And
like
then
every
what
six
happened
months
next?
I'd have bone scans. It
And it
disappeared from my neck, no, the left rib cage first, then it disappeared from the neck. And the tumor in the sacrum, I still have it, but it is very small compared to what it was before.
And new bone
the
growth.
inflammation is almost gone from it.
So you follow
New
this
bone
because it's
growth,
important.
new bone
It
growth.
went backwards in
Yeah.
reversing exactly the way it spread.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what is it? Cancer's a process, people. We're all going to be living with it, and so are your children. The average person, they're saying now, going forward, with what we've done to our food and the air and everything, is going to get cancer 6 to 20 times in their lifetime. Well, most of the time, the body, if you're feeding it right and taking care of yourself, is going to fight that off, and you'll never even find it. You know what scares me? Is modern medicine's getting so precise with some of these detectable methods. How many people are they diagnosed with cancer that would have gone away if they just left the damn thing alone?
Yes.
They're finding this with
Right.
millions of women with breast cancer.
Yeah,
Chop them off, do this, do that, and the damn cancer, if they just left it and the person took care of themselves, would have gone away in 3/4 of them.
Yeah.
So,
If
you know,
I would have known back then what I know now, I would not have had surgery, I would not have had chemo, I would not have had radiation. Instead, because I didn't know, I went through all that, and the story didn't stop there. I ended up with permanent colostomy because a stricture formed in my colon from the radiation. When the surgeon went in to try to do the surgery, he couldn't repair it.
don't be so
It was
kind
so-
for these assholes. They fried you.
They did.
They
fried
basically
me.
cemented
They fried
her
me.
organs
Yeah.
together
Yeah,
with the amount of radiation.
yeah.
That's what they did to her.
Yeah, so I have permanent colostomy, and normally when you have a permanent one, they remove your rectum and sew you up. They couldn't even do that. I was so welded together that they couldn't even do that, and so I have to put up with some real unpleasant, constant sloughing off cells that don't really look too nice at times and don't really smell too nice at times. I ended up with radiation cystitis. Took me 2 years to get in to see this specialist. I had to have surgery, to repair the bladder. I have neurological damage, especially on my left side. My feet are, for the most part, numb. My left
this from the
side,
palliative
yeah,
radiation?
it's from the palliative
Chemo, too.
radiation. It's just done. Oh, now I have hernias. I have an incisional one here from the original surgery. They repaired it once, it came back, and now I have another one right where the stoma is, which they can't operate on. So they made a mess out of me, but I didn't know at the time, and I'm glad I'm here. And
As a taxpayer, I feel like I have part of Joey.
yeah, I'll tell you another thing it's done. Like, as much as I'm grateful to be alive and forever grateful to Susan and Paul for saving my life, but it's financially ruined me. I've been on disability for over 6 years. Just as I've sold one house, have to sell another one, but I'm not able to work. I can't. So.
Well, let's be truthful too. We live in a society. It's just what I went through, even with all my education and everything
Yeah.
else. Once you go through these things, you're damaged goods to employers.
Oh yeah, you are. Very much so. And I know I couldn't
There's no
work.
prejudice on it. You're just damaged goods.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I'm here, and I live
And
to
you
see a
got
grandchild.
to see your grandchild,
Yes.
exactly.
I never thought I'd live to see a grandchild, and my little Granddaughter's gonna be 4 years old in August, and she is a sweetheart, and I meant to bring a picture of her tonight.
And that's the most important
Yeah.
thing.
And this is a picture of me about, I think it's almost a year, 9 months to a year after I started on the supplements. And
Look great.
my kids
Gorgeous.
did this,
Good.
my kids dressed me like this, and I was wearing my hair
Not bad in
spiked.
1 year, eh?
Wow.
Like you're told to go
Fixed
home and
it.
die, and then a
Yeah.
year later, you're like that. But
Yeah, yeah, and I'll tell you, I can wear high heels, I can do all kinds of stuff now. Yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong, I can swim, I couldn't swim before
Tell them though,
because.
Joey, there was people there at your worst when they heard that, you know, you were gonna pass on and Wellspring, you know, get a plaque ready for this, that, and everything else. They didn't want me to come in there and share
No,
this
I
information
tried.
with anyone. She tried to get me in, but she had friends that have since passed with cancer who wouldn't do what she did, that were there when she was at her worst time, if you can imagine.
And I had to lay down on the
That's the
couch
control
during
the medical
sessions 'cause I
profession
couldn't
has
sit.
on these people.
So Joe,
Yeah.
what is cancer? Because I've got 2 people that have cancer, they're around my age, right?
Yep.
That are friends. And I know this stuff, right, because I've been here before, and trying to tell them that, and they won't listen.
Yeah.
There's, fear is one of the biggest things I
That's
think. They're
the thing.
scared,
Going through
it's
that.
fear.
Well, here's what you do.
Well, don't you think cost?
You
I was
get,
desperate.
Yeah.
yeah, sometimes these people are just not, they haven't been cut loose yet. You know, sometimes you have to wait till the doctor says you got 6 months to live, then they'll listen. Or they plan their funeral on the way outside of the doctor's office, right? There's those 2 kinds. But what I would do, if you got people that you really love and care about, you get on the phone with them, you give me a call, and you tell them up front, he doesn't sell anything, he won't charge you anything, he's just gonna point you towards information and you can do whatever the heck you want. But, you know, and you tell them because you care about them. But I love you and I really think you should check out this info. Because I'm telling you, if they read The Hidden Story of Cancer, if they go to my website, if they look at Joey's testimonial and 10 others on the web, we got people with pancreatic cancer that are 9 years out. Do you know how many die within 6 months with pancreatic? 9 years out, pancreatic. Yeah, we got
liver and stomach.
liver and stomach. Yeah, we got other ones with, you know, brain tumors. We had them show up with holes in their head here that were sent home to die. Same as Kennedy had. They're still alive 5 years later. We got dozens of these. We got more that won't go on our website because they're afraid the insurance company will cut them off.
Yeah, well, they are.
I know, they have their rights,
They're-
but isn't it sad that the system has these people so controlled that the truth can't be through? Her doctors, what do you think they're sending people with colorectal cancer to her? No, they're still sending them to the graveyard. They're not sending them to her. They're not saying, why don't you try what Joey did?
Except one person.
One person,
Because
he wouldn't do anything
Yeah.
and was gonna die, did what Joey did on the blessings of her doctor. And then, what was it, brain?
No, it was, what do you call it?
Kind of cancer?
I always forget it.
Lymphoma?
Multiple myeloma.
Multiple myeloma.
Wow.
Multiple
Okay.
myeloma.
Anyways, is he still alive?
Oh, yes.
Is he fine?
Yeah, he's doing well.
No problem.
He's doing well.
So the 2 people, her and this other one, are the only 2 in this whole oncologist practice. And these 2 are alive, and the others, they're dying by hundreds every month, and nobody says nothing.